Friday, May 11th at the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California, Thompson Boxing was celebrating their 18-year anniversary. And yours truly was calling the action. Steve Kim had to travel to New York to cover the Lomachenko card, and they needed a guy to fill that slot. Beto Duran is the blow-by-blow guy, but Steve Kim is in there as kind of the technical guy, the color commentator that also adds, you know, technical advice, or not advice, technical breakdowns and things like that. They needed that guy. So Steve recommended me, and I'd worked with Thompson Boxing before. Boom, that was it. I told you guys my suit was packed and everything, so I had to go to Men's Warehouse to rent a suit. They were not able to tailor it.
Little wide.
It was huge.
Little wide.
Yeah, and they told me that was the slim fit.
Oh, no, that was not.
So in the shoulders,
maybe for a 300-pounder, but
it looked like it worked for Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys see me on the intro shot with Beto Duran, we're standing up. There was only one stand-up shot. The rest of it we were sitting down. But I'll get a copy of it. It's only like a few minutes, and I'll put it up on the channel. But you'll see that the suit, it looks like a zoot suit. I look like an absolute idiot. Other than that, it was a lot of fun.
The thing is, you did an excellent job. It was a good card. Everybody really had a great time. But, I mean, you did an excellent job, man.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And a few of you guys were watching live on the stream on Facebook.
And some people came in person, though.
Oh yeah, the ballroom got full. For the first, there was 5 fights. For the first fight, there wasn't hardly anybody in there. But by the co-main, really, it was filled up, and it was a lot of fun. We went out with some friends afterwards. I ended up at Denny's across the street because everything else was too busy. But great night. Went to bed at maybe 3 o'clock. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. Those of you who interacted, some people from the channel interacted with us on Facebook during the live broadcast. Thank you so much. Yeah, in the main event, Roberto Arriaza wins a 10-round unanimous decision over Juan Ruiz, improves to 17-0 with 13 knockouts. He's now rated number 9 at welterweight by the WBO. Possibly could fight Giovanni Santillan, who I think is out of San Diego, later this year for a WBO welterweight title eliminator. Thompson Boxing reps both of those fighters. So they're trying to work with the WBO to get that worked out. I think Santillan is ranked by the WBO like in the top 15. So if that works out, that'll be a great, great fight for Thompson Boxing. But 18 years as a small club promoter putting on small club shows, and you guys might not realize this, but they had Josecito Lopez. They had Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley's first world title when he went over and fought Junior Witter in the UK. Thompson Boxing was representing him at that point.
Did they not have Areola?
They had Chris Areola for like 6 fights, I think. 5 or 6 fights early in his career. They've had guys who have gone on to win titles. You know, overlooked talent here in the SoCal area. And this Arriaza kid's from Nicaragua. They moved him here, and now he's training here in LA. A ton of potential.
One thing I got to say about Thompson Boxing is when I first moved to LA, I was living in the Wilmington neighborhood. And they have, just around the corner from where I was at, off of the PCH, was a tire shop, but it was owned by the Thompson.
Ken Thompson,
family. Yeah. And they had advertisements for, you know, Thompson Boxing. So it was like right when I first moved here, I was by myself. I didn't know anybody. You know, my brother's way up here. I was way down the south end. But they put on a card, local there in Wilmington, and I just went and I just paid the little, you know, 20 bucks or whatever and went and saw the fight. I mean, it was actually, so, man, and you didn't even know them at that point. So, I mean, it was just really cool how it just kind of, man, it's a good company, it's a good group, it's good people to support. They
really take care of their people. Yeah, I'll say this, man. I'm
definitely a fan. That's what I mean.
They put me and Tiff up at the Doubletree, which was a really nice place. They fed us, you know, paid, you know, like I don't do free work anymore. To follow up on what me and Tiff were talking about earlier, and you know, I've done gigs with other platforms where I had to put in an invoice and I had to wait 6 weeks to get these guys. I walked in, boom, here's your check, here's your per diem, here's your meal, you know, be here at this time. Everything was set up. They're so professional, and like you were saying, man, they have a built-in kind of history in this community. Yeah. And people, it was interesting because this was out in Ontario. And as I said, you know, early on, because we started going around 8 o'clock, the place wasn't filled up. But by about 10 o'clock, the place was full. And you could tell it was just locals from the community that, hey, it's Friday night, let's go see some fights. And then let's go out afterward and go to, you know, get a drink or something. Yeah. that's who was there. And it was just this really, really cool family-like atmosphere there, man. Great experience. And it was actually fun fights. Also, Friday night at the Sam's Town Hotel and Gambling Hall in Las Vegas, Mayweather Promotions did a PBC on Bounce special. Tony Harrison wins a split decision over Ishe Smith. Scores were 97-92, 96-93, and one judge had it 95-94 for Ishe Smith. That judge is a moron. Harrison clearly won the fight.
Yeah.
Harrison's out of Detroit.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
he's a
like him
homeboy.
for that.
Clearly won the fight. He dropped Smith in the third. It was a flash knockdown. He buzzed him in the 8th round. Here's the thing, though, man. Is Harrison an elite level fighter?
No.
Right.
I mean,
But we need guys like this in this sport. He's at that mid-level gatekeeper level, I think. I mean, maybe he's a little higher than gatekeeper. He might challenge for another title at some point. But he's limited against the highest level fighters, right?
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Chicago-born cruiserweight Andrew Tabiti stays undefeated. He's now 16-0, 13 knockouts.
Hey, at least he got a knockout in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about
KO6
before
over
how
Latif Coyote.
He has no, he's feather-fisted, so at least he was able to stop
Coyote.
I
And
mean,
good quality win for him. The Rings Ratings Committee, we talked yesterday, should we bump him up a notch? And I said, yeah, bump Tabiti up a notch. I thought that was a good quality win for him. I think that was a step in the right direction for him. Also Friday, from Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena on Showbox, Devin Haney scores a win over Mason Menard, who doesn't come out for the 10th round. He improves to 19-0 with 13 knockouts. Haney was dominant throughout. As I mentioned, Maynard did not come out for the 10th round. Haney's just 19 years old, turns 20 in November, a top lightweight prospect. Not sure about the power, and I'm not sure about him being promoted by Floyd Mayweather. I just don't know, man. If this kid was promoted by Top Rank the way they know how to build a prospect, I'd feel much better about him. But definitely looks really, really good. Super, super young. Hopefully we continue to see him built up. All right.
Yeah.
That's enough with Friday night. Let's get into Saturday night. Over in the Bolton Whites Hotel in Bolton, Lancashire, over in the UK, Hughie Fury storms a TKO5 win over Sexy Sam Sexton.
Ooh,
knockdowns
he gets a ton of sex.
In the 4th and the 5th. Yeah, Sexton gets a ton of sex. Fury improves to 21-0. I'm sorry, 21-1 with 11 knockouts. This is his first win since his clear decision loss to Joseph Parker. Can I stop hearing that was a controversial decision?
It was.
Joseph Parker clearly beat him. Clearly beat him.
And
should have been a unanimous decision, not a majority decision.
I agree.
Sexton had won 9 in a row against woeful opposition, mostly 6-rounders, since a KO4 loss. Since a KO4 loss to David Price in 2012.
God. Yeah, if
David
you get knocked
Price
out by David Price, then
is cleaning your clock in 4 rounds. That shows you the level he's at. So, okay, Hughie Fury stays busy. Is Hughie Fury a top 10 heavyweight?
No.
No. You'd say 15?
I don't even know who's in the top 10 anymore. Seriously? It's AJ Wilder and Povetkin. I still want Povetkin to get in the mix.
Povetkin, he'll get a shot at Joshua.
But, I mean, I don't. Who cares?
Really? Okay.
You're
going to piss off a lot of people.
I know
the
I
Fury
will.
people are going to be furious.
I love the Brits because I want to move there and I want to get with a British woman. And I know people are like, "What? Do you want to have sex with cardboard?" But I do. Anyway,
he wants to have sex with cardboard. Right? He desperately wants to make love to a schoolboy.
Yes, to a schoolboy. I don't know, the Welsh women, that girl in the commercials for that the bourbon or whatever it is, the whiskey, even though she's Italian in English and she's not Scottish, and I know the Scottish got all mad. Anyway.
Tangent.
Fury. I would much rather see Tyson Fury come back. Tyson Fury.
Well,
even
he's
though
supposed
I know
to be
he's
coming.
8,000 pounds overweight.
Supposedly he's got it.
I would rather see him come back than.
Supposedly he's got it back under 20 stone. We'll see. At this point, though, Hughie Fury.
I'm just saying.
Top 15 heavyweight, but I thought Joseph Parker clearly beat him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he can learn from that. He can work his way back in. But right now, I don't even see this guy as a top 10
He's not going to be able to
heavyweight.
ride Tyson's name, and there you go.
That says it all.
Yeah, sorry.
So crossing over the pond here into the United States, we had 2 big cards in the state of New York. Let's go to the city of New York. We're at Madison Square Garden. It was Top Rank on ESPN. In the main event, Vasyl Lomachenko scores a TKO10 win over Jorge Linares, becomes the WBA in Ring Magazine lightweight champion. I posted an immediate reaction video with a little bit of just things I saw technically and some immediate thoughts right after the fight. Make sure you guys check that out. Loma was down in the 6th. Linares was down in the 10th for the count. Some punch stats. Lomachenko landed 213 of 627 for 34% overall punches. Linares 207 for 739 for 28%. So Linares threw more. Loma threw less but landed more. Loma landed 112 jabs. Linares only 68 jabs. Linares only landed 18% of his jabs. Lomachenko landed 28%. What that tells me is Linares was trying to just use his length to keep Lomachenko off him, not necessarily trying to land that jab, just keeping it out there to use his length, which I thought he did well early on. Right?
He did well with the power shots, though.
The power punches, there you go.
Because I think he was more so trying to really enforce his will on him. You know what I mean?
And he had some success.
I'm bigger than you. I'm gonna, you know.
Well, Linares landed 139 power punches. Loma only 101. Loma more accurate with the power punches, 42% to only 38% for Linares. But Linares did get some work done with the power punches. However, I will say, I thought Linares got a lot more credit for blocked, partially landing punches than he really landed. I thought Lomachenko did a great job. Everything happened so fast because these fighters are so fast, both of them.
Yep.
But if you guys watch a replay, find it on YouTube, a lot of those shots were picked off by Lomachenko, or they were glancing that Linares got credit for, based on what I saw. Both guys went to the body more in this fight than they had averaged in previous bouts coming in. So both guys wanted to make their point. But I predicted Lomachenko by decision in this fight, okay? I didn't think he could hurt Linares, and there's no way he could hurt Linares upstairs. But it never dawned on me, because Lomachenko, he does throw good body punches when he does it. Thinking back when he fought Gary Russell, man, he beat Gary Russell up to the body. I was ringside, and you could hear those shots echoing through StubHub Center. And he went to the body against Linares beautifully in this fight, and that's how he got the stoppage. And I just didn't think, and I don't know, I didn't hear anybody call a body shot knockout win for Lomachenko. Were you surprised at that, man?
You know, I thought it would go 12 rounds, like you said, unanimous decision. I thought it was going to be a close fight, just because, as you said earlier, they're both extremely fast, skilled guys, and I'm a fan of Linares. I really thought this was going to be a very close fight.
Right.
Which, I mean, even though Lomachenko won more rounds, those rounds were still somewhat close. Every round was close. Every round was competitive. Linares is not a bum, and for the people who think that he is for some fucking reason.
Well, it's because they hate Lomachenko. So now suddenly Linares is a bum.
You know, it's just that Lomachenko just beat him. I mean, you know, he fought him at his own game, and I think Linares was not trying to go out there to survive. He wasn't going to just try to jab and win rounds. He wanted to hurt him, and that's why he focused more so on the body and power shots, and Lomachenko's just better.
What I noticed...
I mean, that's it. That's all you can take from it.
The first few rounds were close. Really, really close. And you really could have went either way with a couple of those first rounds. I think I split the first 2 rounds, but I could see that, right? But by about the 4th and 5th round, Lomachenko started cruising.
Yeah.
What was interesting is in the 6th round, he was cruising and got too cocky and walked right into a beautiful right-hand counter from Linares. And to be clear, Lomachenko was off balance, and he just pushed him down. Lomachenko wasn't hurt, but he instantly knew, I can't do what I did to Rigondeaux, Jason Sosa, even Gary Russell and guys like, I can't do what I did to them against this guy.
Well, that's my point about Linares. Linares saw, oh sure, this guy's just walking into me, and he boom. And if you saw the way he set up, he just threw a pawing bullshit jab. It was just this little bullshit, and then straight over with the right hand. So I mean, again, it goes to prove that Linares is not a bum. For all these idiots who keep trying to say that he sucked, like, he saw what these other people couldn't see, or he was capable of doing what they simply could not do.
Yeah.
They just weren't capable of doing it.
And part of that is due to the size difference. right? Because he was able to, because other guys tried to do what Linares did, but Loma learned, like, whoa, wait a second. At 135 pounds, this guy's too big. And that's when I really saw Lomachenko make the adjustment. He took the rest of the 6th round off. He moved a lot in the 7th round. But toward the end of the 7th round, he started digging to the body. Yeah. And he'd go upstairs to lift Linares' elbows and then dig under it. Yeah. And he started mixing up shots with uppercuts, splitting the guard. It was beautiful. Yeah. What I liked from Linares, who was no way in hell going to quit in this fight, like the other guys did, like Rigondeaux. He's not cut from that cloth. He got a little chippy in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, where he was hitting low, he was hitting behind the head, he was holding and hitting, he was getting dirty in there to show Lomachenko, dude, you're not going to just walk all over me like these other guys.
Yeah, I respect
He did some Orlando Salido.
I respect that.
But here's also where we saw the improvement from Lomachenko since the Orlando Salido fight. When Orlando Salido was pulling that shit, who was every bit as big as Linares was in this fight, make no mistake about that, weight-wise, I'm saying, Loma didn't quite know what to do yet. Yeah. It was his 2nd professional fight, people. Yeah. In this fight, he knew what to do with it. And if you can't see that improvement,
ended the fight.
Those of you who still hang on to that Salido loss, if you cannot see the improvement from that performance to this one, you're just, I'm just going to say it, you're just racist. Get over it. The guy is Caucasian, and he's probably the best fighter in the world right now. Get over it. And he's not the only one. You look at the pound-for-pound top 10. Gennady Golovkin.
Lost 1,000 subscribers right now.
But look, very well. Look, Terrence Crawford, at the end of last year, I rated Terrence Crawford pound-for-pound #1.
And he's still up there. I mean, Terrence Crawford's damn good.
But he's about to fight Jeff Horn.
Yeah, he'll beat Jeff Horn.
Of course. But beating Jeff Horn is not the same thing as beating Jorge Linares.
No.
And let's be fair.
Because Jeff Horn clearly fucking lost to Pacquiao. I mean, I see what you're saying.
In retrospect, that fight was close. I still feel Pacquiao won, but I
watched it a second time and I still saw Pacquiao winning.
I thought Pacquiao won too.
I don't see how Horn won.
But some people are so threatened by Lomachenko because there have been other guys from the Caucasian diaspora, whether they're Latin American or from the United States or
you find a way
Australia
to cut them to a different.
But they were pound for pound with their power punching. They were brawlers. They would knock guys out. Okay, that's how Kovalev got up there. That's how Golovkin got up there. And I get it, guys. Golovkin's a quarter Asian. I get it. He's white. Shut up.
Times with guys like Kelly Pavlik and Sergio Martinez.
Okay, there you go. With Sergio Martinez, well, Sergio did it with precision and technical skill, so that's why he got some hate too. But Canelo's a guy that uses power and weight advantage, right? So usually, when a white guy, quote unquote, is pound for pound like that, Lomachenko's doing it with a certain level of craft and footwork that we haven't seen since. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to get hell for this. It's Mayweather-esque. It's Whitaker-esque.
It is.
It is, guys. You have to just get over yourselves and admit it. It is.
It is.
Now, am I saying he's accomplished more than Floyd or Whitaker? No. Hell no. He's not even close. Right now, if he retired, he doesn't even rate close to Floyd, who I don't rate close to Whitaker, okay? So, from that perspective, no. But from a skill perspective, I say Floyd moved his upper body better than Loma, but Loma has better feet than Floyd ever had. I'm going to go on record and say it right now. I'm sorry.
See that.
And to knock out a guy to the body, people talk about Linares got stopped, and I covered Linares' beatdown to Antonio DeMarco, which, by the way, he gave every good as much as he got in that fight. It was right down there at Staples. I covered that fight. Bloody war. Yeah. He got beat up upstairs. He's never been knocked out to the body. He's never been hurt or dropped to the body that I can remember. And for a little guy who could make featherweight today, Lomachenko could make featherweight. He could take a good shit and make featherweight right now. For him to knock out Linares to the body, when is the last time we've seen that?
I'm
at
with
your
you.
first fight in a new division.
I'm with you.
Like, we're seeing some incredible shit here, people. Yeah. Who cares where the guy's ancestry is from?
I know.
Just enjoy it.
It's funny that certain because it's no different than the.
And now
I comment on videos, and you see the comments that some people just can't seem to like him. But, you know, Tank's gonna destroy him.
Tank Williams has outstanding explosive power, but he does not have anywhere near the technical, the footwork, the precision, the angles that Lomachenko has.
I say make the fight. But I understand why they don't, because Lomachenko is too much of a star. He has too much power.
Floyd Mayweather is the best.
Like, they need to bring that money up on the other end.
Floyd Mayweather is the best matchmaker in modern boxing history. And he knows damn well what would happen if his boy, and it is his boy, fought Lomachenko. What would happen? So he ain't gonna make that damn fight. It ain't happening.
It is true.
Floyd's a very good matchmaker. All right. So anyway, at this point, I got Lomachenko pound for pound #1.
Yeah.
Some of the Golovkin people are mad, guys.
The Golovkin.
You got to get over yourselves.
I'll say this one thing about Golovkin. It's not his fault.
Yes.
You can't blame, and I don't blame Golovkin for his opposition. It's just the fact that people are unwilling to fight him. They won't make contracts. And this has been his entire career. And it's a goddamn shame because he's now on the downslide. Like, you don't, as you age, you don't get better. Like, he's going down.
You could
and
say
he should be fighting people that just refuse to fucking fight him.
And you could say the same thing for Terrence Crawford. Now, Terrence Crawford cleaned out 140. That is something Lomachenko hasn't done. That is something Golovkin hasn't done yet. So from that perspective, he outrates both of them pound for pound, okay? And that's why I put him pound for pound #1.
I have Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford up there. I would put
you could make
Golovkin
that argument. Well,
3.
And now
I don't fault Golovkin.
Now that Crawford, just sticking with Crawford real quick, now that Crawford's at welterweight, politics are going to screw him over the way Golovkin has been screwed over by politics in the middleweight division.
You'll see it.
And it's going to be no fault of his own. No. And you can't blame Bud for it.
People in that weight class, who they're tied to.
Exactly.
That's a damn shame. And the people in 140 didn't have those same ties. That's why he was able to make those fights, collect all the belts, unify, and then move on. He's not going to be able to do the same, unfortunately, at 147. And I hate that because I wish he could.
I'm also going to add this for the people that say, no, Golovkin should be #1. He beat Canelo. I get it. Even if he beat, I felt he beat Canelo too. Even if he got that decision up. Consider this. Consider this. When he fought Daniel Jacobs, a lot of you guys made a big deal about the size difference. Golovkin fighting such a big fighter. And I'm not even talking about the controversy of it. I'm just talking technically, okay? Golovkin fighting such a bigger fighter who is taller, more naturally stronger, and dropping him and beating him. And what an accomplishment that was. Well, look at what Lomachenko just did with Linares. It was every bit as impressive as what Golovkin did with Jacobs. And he got the stoppage to the body. Something Golovkin didn't do enough against Jacobs or Canelo. So, guys, I'm sorry. Some of you Triple G fans need to back up, and I know you're going to unsubscribe from me. No, Montero sucks.
Come on, we still.
You'll resubscribe in a month when I make a video about Triple G. You guys, stop being so goddamn emotional and be consistent.
I know. It's like, come on, man.
You guys know I keep it real. I'm not a Triple G hater, obviously, okay?
How could
But I'm telling you right now, at this point, Vasyl Lomachenko has done more pound for pound, and look, 12 fights in, than every other fighter currently actively fighting in boxing.
You have to understand,
period.
It's not Triple G's fault.
Exactly.
It's not like Triple G is saying, oh, I don't want to fight these people. No, he wants to fight them. It's just that they won't fight him.
If Triple G
contracts don't work, management and promotion company, like.
If Triple G had his way, he would have already beat guys like Felix Sturm and those guys over in Germany already before he got here. He would have beat Canelo twice already, right? He would have beat Canelo a week ago. It's not his damn fault. Canelo cheated. It's not his fault. But the fact remains, Lomachenko has done more at this point. That's it. Also on this card, Carlos Adames, a Dominican-born fighter now living in New York, improves to 14-0 with 11 knockouts, gets a unanimous decision over Mexican Alejandro Barrera. Errol Spence TKO'd 5 Barrera in 2015. So I'm not sure about this Carlos Adames kid's power. Errol Spence, the goods. You knock out a guy like this.
Errol Spence is one of my guys.
Oh, Errol Spence is the goods, man. You give him 3 years, Errol Spence is going to be pound for pound #1. He's just not there yet. But right now, I got to say, again, Spence stopped Barrera in 5 rounds, and I get it, styles make fights, but Adames, Interesting prospect, but I don't know if he's a blue chipper.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Also on this card, Michael Conlon scores a unanimous decision over Iban Larinaga. Larinaga refused to engage. It was a nauseating fight to watch. Conlon improves to 7-0 with 5 knockouts. Will fight next in Belfast on June 30th. He's promising his fans that he's going to go for the kill and get a knockout. No doubt Top Rank's going to put a guy in there who will come forward with him so he can get a knockout there in front of his fans.
Yeah.
Also, Teofimo Lopez improves to 9-0, 7 knockouts with a KO1 win against the Pizza Boy. Upstate New York.
Taxi driver.
Oh, you're right. He was a taxi driver.
Sorry,
he used to deliver pizza. He got fired for masturbating in front of the bus.
That's right. Forgot.
Upstate in Verona at Turning Stone Resort and Casino. It was Golden Boy on HBO. In the co-main, Rey Vargas stays undefeated, improves to 32-0 with 22 knockouts with a unanimous decision win over Azat Havanesian, defending his WBC Super Bantamweight title. He has a few defenses of that title now. Scores were 116-112, 117-111, 118-110. I thought they felt a bit wide, but the right man got the nod, right?
Sure.
Right man won.
I mean, 16-12, 116-112.
116-112 I could deal with, right? Yeah. I thought the other cards were a little wide. In the main event, Jaime Munguia scores a TKO4 over Sadam Ali. Really with the first big shot he landed in the first round, Ali was done. And I thought Ali's corner, Andre Rozier, could have stopped that fight 2 rounds before they did.
Are they desperate for money? Is that what happened? Or do they just really believe in that Miguel Cotto hype? Because look, I'm sorry, I've never been a Sadam Ali fan. I just never have been. Never. And I was mad that he beat Cotto because it's like, okay, Cotto's a legend, and you do it when he's 87 years old and he's walking on a cane. And, okay, fine.
That's why they fight the fights.
Passing of the torch. I get it. But he stepped up to real.
Well, Munguia, okay, it wins the WBO junior middleweight title, improves to 29-0, 25 knockouts. He is massive for this division.
I get it, but he made the weight. That is one thing. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah,
if you make the weight legally, by the weigh-in, I don't give a fuck. Sadam Ali fight at 147.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that gives him a massive advantage.
So what? Sadam Ali took the fight. Why? Because his corner wanted the money.
He is the Lexington Steel cock of 154. He is the Danny D cock of 154.
Him. They should have canceled that fight or found a better substitution.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So Munguia turns 22 in October. No doubt he's going to be at 160 pounds soon. There's no way he's going to make this division.
And he honestly looks, I mean, granted he knocked out Sadam Ali, but I mean, he looked halfway decent. I would like to see him.
Of course, but let's see him defend this once, twice before he has to move up. He'll probably go to Mexico for his first defense and do a homecoming.
And he can make this weight for several years. I really do think he'll make it.
I think,
for several fights.
Zanfer, it's not Golden Boy that promotes him, it's Zanfer. They're going to take him back down to Mexico, probably do a couple defenses, but no doubt HBO, who's desperate for cheap fighters on regular HBO, they're going to bring this guy back, right? He will definitely be back on HBO sometime around September, I would think. Ali was down twice in the first round, once in the second, once in the fourth. Munguia was talked about as a possible alternate opponent for Golovkin.
Yeah, which
would have been, I think, in Vegas and everything. And the Nevada Commission turned him down. And honestly, it was the best thing that ever could have happened for Munguia. The worst thing that ever could have happened for Sadam Ali, who you can't help but feel bad for. A tough break for him. He was set to fight Liam Smith, who won a mandatory.
That would have been
it would have been an entertaining back and forth fight, but Ali would have won a narrow decision.
Same level.
He would have won a narrow decision. Ali has more skill and craft than Smith. Smith is arguably the tougher, harder puncher.
Yeah, he's probably tougher.
And the more natural junior middleweight.
Yeah.
So I think that would have went to distance, but I think Ali would have won a decision, and he would have had another shot to defend that title. Ali's team did a horrible job representing him in this whole thing.
Dollar signs, I guarantee it.
But Ali did too. Ali said Ramadan's starting and he wants to go, take a break or whatever. But this is one of those things in boxing where
religion.
Sometimes
I just lost another 1,000 subscribers.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Religion doesn't limit anyone's life. Doesn't hold back anyone's career ever. It didn't this time, but look, in all seriousness, this was an example of a guy who just wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And when Liam Smith pulled out of that fight, Zanfer picks up the phone. They have a great working relationship with Golden Boy because they feed Golden Boy stiffs all the time for those ESPN shows and stuff. They'll just pluck a cab driver from Tijuana and say, "Hey, you're
$500. Here's a gift certificate to Shoney's.
You're 5'3" and you weigh 180. Can you squeeze off 5 pounds and fight at light heavyweight against this 6'2" guy that Golden Boy has?" That's what all the time for them. So they picked up the phone and said, "Hey, remember when I did a favor for you?
Remember when I let you fuck my wife?"
Yeah. Well, now you owe me a favor. So that's what this was, and Ali's team, Andre Rozier, who I've given a lot of credit. I thought he did a great job with Daniel Jacobs in recent fights and some other, against Golovkin notably, but other fighters as well. I thought he did a horrible job in this fight, and I just thought that Ali's representative, somebody should have been like, "Look, man, we don't know enough about this kid. He's massive. He's got crazy knockout power. He's coming up from Mexico. We don't know what's going on down there in their camp. We don't know what's up."
Yeah.
Dude, there's, as far as I know, no drug testing for this fight. The kid's not in the clean boxing program because he's not rated by the BC. Anything goes down there in Mexico. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not casting aspersions at all. I'm just saying, if you're Ali's representatives, say, "You know what, Zanfer, we're going to look for someone else. You got the HBO date. You got the title defense. Find someone else in the BO ratings to fight." They made a mistake here, man. And now Ali's done.
And as much as I wanted to see Ali lose, you're exactly right. I mean, yeah, they screwed him over big time.
So,
and it was just bad mistakes. I think they were just looking at, like, we'll get paid. And that's
it's a payday for everybody.
That's all it was.
The trainer, the hangers-on.
You got to think about the future, man, because you probably just destroyed several more future paydays. You could have took less on that night, got the W, and got a couple more before that happened.
And also,
because, I mean, that was going to happen, but
it was going to happen. Yeah, I mean, let's look.
Yeah, I mean,
Ali is not a junior middleweight, and he's not elite anyway.
No,
he wasn't an elite welterweight.
No.
So if he fought anybody like Charlo or one of those guys, it would have been brutal.
Yeah.
But all things considered, this does fall on Ali to a degree as well. But when some of you guys talk about, last-second replacement opponents, a lot was made about Golovkin fighting Martirosyan. This is about a team taking care of a fighter, looking out for them, thinking about the future, what's on down the line, and a fighter knowing the stakes of all that. You look at Ali and the incredible mistake he and his team made.
Terrible decision.
It ended his career.
Yeah.
Essentially at any level of making money. Had he beat Liam Smith or found a better replacement opponent and beat him, there's another high 6-figure payday for him after that.
Yep.
Take the beatdown against Charlo in a unification fight and get high 6 figures.
Yep.
Maybe even, I don't know about 7, but high 6 figures. Instead, this is what you get, and his career is essentially done at this stage. And now Munguia, who has a title but is really just a prospect, develop him, get some title defenses. I'd love to see him fight Jarrett Hurd or Charlo, but he's not ready for those guys quite yet. Have him defend the title once or twice and then start calling those dudes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had he fought Triple G, though, based on what I saw, Triple G would have destroyed this kid in 4 or 5 rounds. He's just not there yet. But a couple more fights, a couple more years, this kid's going to be scary at middleweight. And I'm telling you, man, middleweight's going to be solid the next 3 or 4 years.
Man.
Good stuff. All right, guys, that was everything from last week. Let's preview what's coming up for the next 2 weeks around the world.